John here from Infoblips.com. Former President Donald Trump has once again ignited a firestorm of controversy. Since his return to the political stage, he has taken a series of actions that have left many Americans deeply concerned. From issuing sweeping pardons to overhauling the Department of Justice, Trump's recent decisions have sent shockwaves through the nation. These actions, many argue, undermine the very foundations of American democracy. One of the most contentious moves was Trump's decision to pardon hundreds of individuals involved in the January 6th Capitol riot. This decision, widely condemned by both Democrats and Republicans, has raised serious questions about accountability and the rule of law. Adding fuel to the fire, Trump has also moved to gut the Department of Justice, purging officials who were investigating far-right extremism. This move, experts warn, could pave the way for a resurgence in domestic terrorism. In another controversial move, Trump has halted the enforcement of foreign bribery laws. This decision, critics argue, opens the door to widespread corruption and undermines America's standing on the global stage. As if that weren't enough, Trump has also issued a conditional pardon to New York City Mayor Eric Adams. This pardon, contingent on Adams aligning with Trump's political agenda, has been decried as a blatant attempt at political coercion. These actions taken together paint a troubling picture of Trump's vision for America. Critics argue that his disregard for democratic norms and the rule of law poses a significant threat to the country's future. Trump's decision to pardon hundreds of individuals involved in the January 6th Capitol riot has been met with widespread condemnation. Critics argue that this decision undermines the rule of law and sends a dangerous message that violence against the government will be tolerated. The pardons, which include individuals convicted of assaulting police officers, have been particularly controversial. Many see this as a betrayal of the oath of office, which requires the president to uphold the Constitution and protect the country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. The attack on the Capitol was a direct assault on American democracy, and those who participated in it should be held accountable for their actions. By pardoning them, Trump is essentially condoning their behavior and encouraging others to engage in similar acts of violence in the future. Public outrage over the pardons has been palpable. Polls show that a majority of Americans, including a significant number of Republicans, disapprove of Trump's decision. Many view it as a self-serving attempt to protect his allies and rewrite the history of the January 6th attack. The pardons have also raised concerns about the future of American democracy. If those who attempt to overthrow the government are not held accountable, it sets a dangerous precedent. It suggests that violence is an acceptable means of achieving political ends, and it erodes the public's trust in the institutions that are supposed to protect them. Trump's overhaul of the Department of Justice has further fueled concerns about his commitment to the rule of law. Under his leadership, the DOJ has shifted its focus away from investigating far-right extremism and domestic terrorism. This shift in priorities has alarmed many experts, who warn that it could leave the country vulnerable to attack. The decision to dismantle the DOJ's efforts to combat far-right extremism is particularly concerning given the rise of these groups in recent years. These groups, fueled by conspiracy theories and white supremacist ideology, pose a serious threat to national security. They have been linked to numerous acts of violence, including the January 6th attack on the Capitol. By gutting the DOJ, Trump is sending a clear message that he is not serious about addressing this threat. This is a dangerous gamble that could have devastating consequences for the country. Without a robust effort to combat far-right extremism, these groups will continue to grow and become more emboldened. The weakening of the DOJ also has implications for the fight against corruption. With fewer resources and less political will to go after powerful individuals and corporations, it is likely that we will see an increase in white-collar crime and other forms of corruption. This will further erode public trust in government and undermine the rule of law. The halting of foreign bribery laws is another deeply troubling move by the Trump administration. This decision, which essentially gives American businesses a free pass to engage in corrupt practices abroad, has been met with condemnation from ethics experts and anti-corruption advocates. They argue that it undermines the fight against global corruption and sets a dangerous precedent for other countries. By signaling that American companies are free to bribe their way to success overseas, Trump is essentially giving a green light to corruption. This will not only harm American businesses in the long run, but it will also make it more difficult to promote good governance and the rule of law around the world. The decision to halt enforcement of foreign bribery laws is a gift to corrupt regimes and individuals around the world. This, coupled with the gutting of the DOJ and the pardoning of individuals involved in the January 6th attack, creates a breeding ground for extremism and lawlessness. It sends a message that the rules don't apply to those in power, and it emboldens those who seek to undermine democracy and the rule of law. The potential consequences of these actions are far-reaching and deeply concerning. It is essential that the American people remain vigilant and hold their leaders accountable for their actions. The future of American democracy may depend on it. So what can you do? Call Congress 202-224-3121. Tell them your state. They will connect you with your state Senate office. Tell them what you think of Trump's criminal actions.